New SpaceX Starship Orbital Launch Update. SpaceX and Elon Musk have been working on the Starship for a lot of time. The world has been waiting for its launch for ages now. However, it seems like SpaceX has finally announced its orbital launch. With this update, soon the Starship will be out in space. Today we'll be talking about the orbital launch update that confirms the release of the Starship to outer space. Moreover, it confirms that the launch of the Starship is imminent. However, this begs the question, why wasn't this done before? What were the issues that delayed the orbital launch? Well, stick around as we answer these questions and more as we delve into the details surrounding the orbital launch. Without further ado, let us begin the video. First things first, before we start discussing the orbital launch, first let us understand why it was delayed. What were the challenges faced by SpaceX? It is common knowledge that SpaceX was limited due to the FAA regulations. However, things look to be bright in the future. Let us shed some light on the matter. SpaceX President Gwen Shotwell predicts that Starship megarocket, which will transport people and goods to the Moon and Mars, will take to the skies for the first time in June or July. Business has conducted several Starship prototype test flights in the same area. The orbital test flight of the Starship was originally scheduled for December 2021. However, it was postponed due to a delay in getting launch certification from the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration. The FAA, on the other hand, just said that it'll conclude its investigation into Starship flight's environmental impact by the end of this month and award certification. On the plus side, however, 4 of the 5 sub-reviews for Boca Chica, Texas have been completed, the most of which was a consultation mandated by the National Historic Preservation Act of 1966. Outside of the FAA patrol, all processes have been accomplished. I assume SpaceX and the FAA are now responsible for finishing the PEA language as well as the solitary reviewer's comments. As a result, the FAA is expected to release the environmental assessment before the end of the month. Let's hope this isn't the 7th time something similar has occurred. Just 4 times is plenty. Now that you've understood the issues affiliated with the launch, let us talk about the launch itself. Rockets and other systems capable of launching payloads into or beyond Earth's orbit are known as orbital launch systems. Although several have used air-breathing engines on their first stage, all contemporary spacecraft use conventional chemical rockets for launch. All of the launch pad infrastructures have been tested thus far, including the orbital tank farm, the launch tower, arms and mount, as well as the piping that feeds fuel to the spaceship through a rapid detach arm. The 2 main characters of the flight, the pair 724, have completed the assembling, which was intimated as taking place during this historic voyage. At the Starbase building site, the nose cone of Ship 24 was hoisted and stowed within a high bay. Ship 24 is currently stacked to capacity. The Starship Gazer captured the close-up view. It should be on its way to the orbital launch site for testing this week, if not sooner. It can then join forces with its Super Heavy booster 7 companions. After promptly repairing the damage caused during its initial round of testing, SpaceX has returned its newest Super Heavy to the Starbase's launch pad. Fans and close observers instantly agreed that Booster 7 was beyond repair after viewing this photo of the inside damage leak. Instead, SpaceX appears to have defied those predictions by fixing the upgraded Super Heavy to the point where it could be tested again in less than 3 weeks after returning to the high bay. On May 6th, B7 was returned to the launch site and placed on the orbital launch platform for the 2nd time. As soon as the structural testing of Rocket 7 is completed, SpaceX is planning to begin installing Raptor V2 engines. A note on the Raptor situation: SpaceX is firing Raptors multiple times each day in order to better understand the engine's limits. For the orbital voyage later this month, SpaceX will have more than enough Raptors. Now it's up to SpaceX to determine whether it wants to redo the structural testing of the Rocket 7 to ensure that its quick adjustments worked before proceeding to static fire testing as planned. The Super Heavy prototype is still alive and well, with more testing scheduled for this week. So are you guys enjoying the video? Here comes another challenge. How will the rocket return to the landing pad? What is the role of the FCC in SpaceX's proceedings? How will Musk carry out the weight of expectations on him to deliver on the project he has spent millions on? The rocket's return to the pad is crucial because it comes as SpaceX prepares another regulatory application for a test flight. In its proposal, SpaceX is requesting the FCC authority to add another frequency to send data to the Starship rocket for an orbital test flight. It'll take effect on the 21st of this month for 6 months, and the Commission will need to work with government RF users, including NASA and the U.S. Department of Defense. The launch frequency for Starships was defined in a SpaceX proposal to the FCC in 2020. The FCC granted SpaceX permission to add another frequency band last week, at a time when the company's FAA environmental study was also progressing. Following a series of tests, the first Starship orbital flight is expected to take place soon. Elon Musk's commitment to landing humans on Mars by 2029 is then reinforced by SpaceX's COO. Gwen Shotwell of SpaceX says in a new interview with CNBC that we should put people on the surface of Mars within a decade. Indeed, these comments come amid speculation that SpaceX will fall short of its objective of delivering humans to Mars due to apparent delays in the manufacture of its primary rocket, the Starship, as well as Musk's recent Twitter rants. Despite the fact that the lead spaceship Starship has yet to be tested, Musk and SpaceX remain confident about a trip to Mars. SpaceX must demonstrate that Starship is capable of traveling to orbit and returning safely before considering a breakthrough mission to Mars. While we have successfully delivered technology to the surface of our planetary neighbor, no human mission to Mars has been attempted. Shotwell argues that people will be on the moon sooner, but considering NASA's much-touted Artemis lunar program's several delays, that timeline may also prove to be ambitious. When challenged about the timeline's plausibility, popular internet rocket scientist Scott Manley said that he is certain SpaceX can achieve it faster than anything short of an Apollo-level program. This clearly shows the commitment, but that timeline appears to be unrealistic. They have the advantage of being able to design hardware with the idea in mind, whereas NASA simply mentions SLS as a key component of their Mars mission. Before people start seriously considering it, I believe we need a significant delivery on the surface of Mars. People will recognize that this is a true destination in 5 or 6 years, I suppose. When combined with Musk's target date, a human landing on Mars is expected in 2029, followed by a larger-scale human migration in the late 2030s. Musk has indicated that by 2050, he hopes to construct a permanent metropolis on Mars. According to some SpaceX insiders, the company intends to conduct missions to Mars from Earth over the next century in order to help develop various communities on the Red Planet. One cannot dream of going out into space without developing a proper launching mechanism to do it. It's like setting up the brain for a body to behave like an Olympic sprinter, but not giving the same body legs to do so. This update on the orbital launch is crucial for not only SpaceX, but Elon Musk's vision of life on Mars. A properly well-defined orbital launch not only ensures that you lose the least rockets that are worth billions, but it also takes us closer to the dream of landing on Mars and eventually later on living on it. That's all we have, folks. So what do you think about the Starship orbital launch update given by Elon Musk and SpaceX? Do let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive similar content in the future.